Hello and welcome to the Long Ball Street podcast. Once again, joined by Rory, dashing a lovely polka dot jumper.
Thank you.
With a little heart. No,
I'm sensing some irony there when you said lovely.
Genuine. I mean it.
I'm unsure.
No, I mean
I'm unsure, but thank you if it was genuine.
You always look lovely. Amazing.
Oh, you're far too kind.
How have you been this week, mate?
Yeah, good.
Do you feel a little bit more prepared than you was last week?
I feel a lot more prepared because you sent me a running order, and I now have a vague idea on the sort of topics that we're going to discuss, which is very handy.
Yeah.
And yeah, generally good spirits. Chelsea won on the weekend, so when that happens, I'm generally in a slightly better mood.
I've got a question actually. It was going to be that lower down, but we might as well do it now. So obviously Spurs suffered a quite significant loss this weekend.
They did
against I won't say, but we lost. And I was just wondering, when Chelsea have a particularly painful loss, how it affects you and what you do to get over it.
As I've got older, I've got better, much better. When I was young, I was appalling, terribly badly behaved, and
badly behaved. And what do you mean?
Just I would. My mum used to say, and she would say that she could tell if Chelsea had won or lost by the way the key would go in the door.
Really?
So I'd be on my way home from a game, she'd expect me at whatever time, the key would go in the door and she could immediately deduce whether Chelsea had won or lost a game. Nowadays I do my best to I was working at TFR. I was working in a football environment.
Yeah.
And two of my colleagues, Barnaby and a guy called Jack Bryden, I could not risk. I couldn't face it.
Were they giving you proper stick?
Yeah, Jack Bryden, who still works at TFR, would definitely be giving me a big headache.
Yeah.
And I couldn't face it. But I've tried to mature. I'm married now, so to be the man I want to be now, I have to get over those sorts of things.
Yeah, I get it. Well, I had for a long time. I would just avoid all football for a long time. I mean, this weekend I avoided everything.
Yeah,
I didn't even know.
Oh mate, I'm the king of avoiding. So you know when Chelsea lost the European Cup in Moscow, Chelsea lost the European Cup final in Moscow to Manchester United. In that game, Frank Lampard scored. I went to the toilet. I missed a goal. I was in the toilet when we scored. Heard it, ran back up, celebrated. You know, I have never seen that goal. I have no idea what that goal looks like. Yeah. I have no idea whether it was a header or a pinger from 30 yards or scrambled in. And I have no intention of ever seeing that goal.
Yeah, I understand completely. I used to never watch Match of the Day. I didn't pick up a newspaper. Back in the day, there was no internet really to, it wasn't as readily accessible as it is now. But I just wouldn't pick up newspapers. Wouldn't do it.
Swerve Twitter as well. Always swerve Twitter.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't.
You turn your phone into a phone, don't you? You turn everything off that isn't basically you can ring me and you can text me the old-fashioned way. Yeah. All internet, all streaming qualities are over.
I don't actually look at my Twitter very often. I very very rarely look at it. I go and love the shirt.
I think you do look at it, but from what I can gather just through our friendship, you just seem to follow people and block them simultaneously, which is exactly what you did to me.
No, don't block.
Flav,
I don't block. I mute.
Flav became that's it. Sorry.
Yeah.
Follow and then mute, because I remember very very early in our friendship we established a Twitter connect.
Yeah.
And I thought that's nice. I was new. I was working with you. I thought that's excellent. We've become friends on that level.
Yes.
Are we ready for Twitter friendship?
Yeah.
And we were. I took it a step further. I sent a little tweet. I mentioned Flav in a tweet. Didn't see it. Well, that's weird, isn't it? He's followed me, and within 24 hours, I've mentioned him. Nothing. Still, 48 hours later, decided to mention it to you. Yeah. And that's all right. I blocked you straight away.
Yeah, I muted you.
I muted you straight away. I followed you, and then I muted you.
Yeah, because I
politely followed you.
Yeah.
And then I muted you, but you should never know that.
I'm showing. No, I'll gladly tell you. I'm showing you the support of following you. I'm giving you a nod of approval. There's something more than a base working relationship. But I don't want to hear anything you have to say.
Ever?
Well, not generally, no. I mean, inside the office I can speak to you and it's all gravy. But hearing you talk about Chelsea and whatnot, it's like the worst thing I want to see.
Do you know what I thought was really funny? It was your logic for it and your open justification. You went, What did you expect? I was like, not that. You went, but in your avatar or your profile picture, you're celebrating at Wembley.
Yeah.
It's like, as soon as I saw that, I blocked you. I
Yeah.
can't be following somebody who's doing that.
Well, I can follow you, but I just don't want to ever see your profile. You can understand that.
I've warmed to the mute button.
Yeah.
Since our conversations, I've warmed to the mute button.
Yeah.
But prior to that, if I followed you, it was a commitment that I held dear.
Yeah.
And it was an open commitment. It was there, and I genuinely followed you. Or I was quite big on unfollowing.
Yeah.
But the mute, it's an interesting angle.
I just don't like you. Change your profile picture, and I'll unmute you.
Deal.
Yeah.
Deal.
All right. Fine. We've reached a impasse there. Barcelona, they're going to bid £17 million for Ozil in January, apparently, and they prefer that kind of deal than going after Coutinho, who's going to cost plus 100 million. What do you think about that logic?
I think it's a good logic.
It makes complete sense.
It makes complete sense. If you're going to, they were looking at potentially paying 4 times that for Coutinho at one point. There's no way that Coutinho is 4 times the player of Ozil.
Yeah.
In which case, it's a good deal.
Yeah.
I think it's a really good idea from them. I think that Ozil, there's no doubt that he's an incredibly talented player. There are question marks in other areas, but he's an excellent player. He's proven in that league. What's going on? What's going on your screen? Somebody cussed me. Somebody's cussed me in the comment. I know they have because I can see Flav's face.
No, I'm getting pelters, which I absolutely fucking love. To be honest, it gets me hard. Go on, carry on.
It's definitely me, isn't it?
No. Flav, you cocky bastard. Spurs are fucking shit. That's good.
Okay,
love
excellent.
it.
Thank you.
Flav is a disingenuous hipster.
You are a hipster. I would contest the disingenuous. Who's that from?
Aaron Sharp.
Aaron, you're absolutely spot on about being a hipster. He is probably the biggest hipster I've ever met. Right down to the fact that down there's some sort of like trendy pret-a-manger coffee that he is currently supping. Disingenuous, I would contest. But hipster, you've got to concede yourself.
Well, I could give a shit. Don't care. Don't care.
But in terms of Ozil, I think it makes complete sense. I think he's an excellent player who could probably. It's a move that would potentially suit a lot of parties aside from Arsenal.
Yeah. It's a strange one, isn't it? But £70 million with 6 months left in the contract.
Even Arsenal then. Do you know what? With that in mind, it's actually one of those weird deals that doesn't come along often, where you can see everybody winning. Barcelona get a man that they so desperately crave, in a position they desperately desire. Ozil gets to go and play for one of the biggest clubs in the world and one of the most attractive propositions that there is. And Arsenal get £17 million for a player with only 6 months on his contract.
Yeah.
Win. It's a hat-trick.
It is, yeah. And like, as you say, Liverpool were kind of over the moon with this because Coutinho's going to... But would this upset Coutinho? Because they've blocked the move and now that deal looks like it isn't going to happen. Because it's...
I think Liverpool must be gutted. I genuinely think Liverpool must be.
In what way?
Because Liverpool were on the brink of securing a record sum, over £100 million, for a player who isn't even the best player in their team. Like when Tottenham play Liverpool, who are you more scared of, Mane or...
Mane, yeah. I understand Coutinho's massively dangerous.
Yeah, look, Coutinho has it in him to... Yeah, if Coutinho plays well, Liverpool win the game. He's that good a player. But
Simeon in the comments just said, I thought Madrid put a clause in his contract that he can't go to Barca. I don't know, is that something that sounds...
Surely not.
I mean, it'd be difficult to restrict
Can't do
where
that.
he can and can't go. I've never heard of that.
No, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong here, but surely not. That's I mean, you're bordering on the Stasi, aren't you? You can't, no way.
I mean, there's things like freedom of movement, freedom of employment. I don't think it's legal for Madrid to do that, but it would be fascinating if
that can't be true. If somebody might know watching, somebody.
Yeah, if there's any more details on that, Simeon, let us know because that is interesting. Look, it's. Ozil was excellent against Spurs on Saturday, you can't deny it, and Arsenal must be thinking, well, how the fuck has this problem happened? We talked about it a lot, so we don't go into it in massive detail, but when the best 2 players in your team are going to be out of contracts in 6 months.
Yeah.
I don't know. Aaron Sharp said, Rory, did you steal that outfit from your mum?
Oh,
that's hard.
Who said that?
Aaron Sharp.
Aaron Sharp.
He's on a mad.
Aaron Sharp's on a mad one.
He's on a mad.
No, Aaron, I didn't. I bought this. I treated myself to this about, I don't know, maybe last Christmas.
Dashing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Gets a Flav seal of approval, Aaron. So
if you're listening to this on the podcast version, you can always join in with us on YouTube. Go to the Long Ball Street YouTube account. You can look at it post after it's gone live, but we always go live and it's nice to interact with some of the comments. So that's why we're talking about the things we are. Right, what we got next? Andy Carroll needs to stop but it needs to be stopped. Apparently, the way he plays football is going to end up with someone seriously injured. This is Martin Samuels in Mail, is it?
Yeah, Martin Samuels in the Mail. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is about his conduct versus Watford and him leaping in with his elbows. He loves to jump with his elbows, which is a natural way to jump to some degree, but some players are much more...
He does it. He's not doing it for leverage. He's not doing it the Shearer or Ferdinand.
It's almost like a wall.
It's a wall.
Even
it's
Shearer,
protection.
Shearer was
actually a bad example, but I think a lot of players. So Les Ferdinand's one that I can remember. He had that incredible capacity to jump and hang.
Yeah.
And that was done through momentum and strength and core and all that, using his arms as leverage. I think Martin Samuel's an excellent writer, and I think a lot of the points that he makes are generally really good, but I disagree with him here. I think that we're in an era. God, people are gonna start commenting. Do you know what I'm gonna get?
What?
You da. When people go, you da. Yeah. I'm gonna get that.
We're in an era. What?
I think we're in an era where people have like football's a contact sport. He'll protect the ball as a centre forward in any way that he deems fit. As a centre half, it's your responsibility to combat that, and I don't have an issue with it. I don't. I mean, ridiculous to compare myself to Andy Carroll, but I'm going to do it anyway. If I pick the ball up when I play football, the first thing I do is protect the ball. I put my arms up. I'm very small. I therefore have to use what I've got. Andy Carroll's only doing that, but he's a big bloke as well.
I think the problem though is when you're jumping in the air, you can't control your momentum. The only thing you can do is pull your arms out the way, which he seemingly refuses to do. And he only has to catch the elbow in the wrong part of the head, and you could end up killing someone on the pitch. It's very unlikely. Seriously injured.
I mean, where do we draw the line here, though? This is back. We're sounding a little bit like. Do you remember the ridiculous comment that Alex Ferguson made when Ashley Williams kicked the ball and it hit Robin van Persie in the head?
Yeah, and it could have killed him.
It could have killed him. Look, Andy Carroll plays a game in a very physical sense. It's by no means. It's nowhere near as physical as a game that the generation above him would have played.
Yeah.
And they all got on with it.
Yeah, ultimately, it's up to the ref. If the refs are not calling it, if they're not saying that is a foul, that was dangerous play, then there is no issue.
Football is a game for the best players in the game ever. Like when you think back over the years, any player that you hold in high esteem, part of the reason they're so good is because they're really hard.
Yeah,
they're all hard men. Like Gianfranco Zola's 5'4". He's hard. He was strong. He was really good. Dennis Bergkamp, one of the most silky, gifted, just beautiful footballers I've ever had the privilege to watch. He's so hard. Dennis Bergkamp was filthy. It's part of football. It's part of what makes a player special, and I actually don't have a problem with it.
Fair enough. West Ham's season ticket holder has been revoked and has had a West Ham's fan's season ticket has been revoked and he's received a 3-year ban from attending West Ham matches because he held up a flag which was anti the board of West Ham.
Undoubtedly the worst thing I've ever heard in my entire life. I think I mentioned the word a minute ago, but it really does apply here. What world are we living in? We don't live in a police state.
Yeah.
You can go and you can protest and you can say anything you want within certain realms, but legitimate, honest, accurate protest is part of what makes a free country. And this is a free country, and the fact I'd be amazed that whoever that person is, they need to get in touch with that Amanda Jacks, who looks after football supporters who have been arrested. And she's a lawyer. Yeah, they need to get in touch with her because that case will not stand. It's outrageous. That's the equivalent of me going and protesting against current government and being locked up.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of North Korea levels of
outrageous. And West Ham. I mean those people running West Ham are an absolute disgrace. And the protest, what the person is saying, I saw the supporters were chanting that they've destroyed the club. How's that wrong? How's that incorrect? They've absolutely done that, and it's a travesty.
I mean, they'd be better served to just come out openly and try and vocally express why they've done some of the things that they've done and take some of the dissenting voices to some degree. It'd be better served than just throwing bans out, because all that's doing...
banning people is, it's so self-defeating, it's so short-sighted, but I think the reason they can't actually have the conversation honestly, Flav, is because if they start acknowledging the motivations behind a lot of their decisions, we're going to come down to financial, and they're going to look even worse.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a fucking mess there, isn't it? Absolute mess at West Ham.
Mess.
I've got no time for West Ham fans. They're a massive rival to us. But as a man who understands what football clubs mean to people,
It's
It's terrible.
Look, as I'm a Chelsea fan, you're a Tottenham fan. There is no sympathy for West Ham as a footballing entity on this table, nor should there be. If there was, we're not doing it right. We're not. And equally, as a West Ham fan listening, if we suddenly went, I quite like West Ham as a Chelsea and a Tottenham fan, a West Ham fan switches off. You're not worth the paper you're written on if you don't understand the tribal loyalty and what it means to support your club, because West Ham and Chelsea hate Tottenham hate Chelsea. That's how it works.
Yeah.
However, me not liking West Ham doesn't mean I don't have on another level, we're all football supporters.
Yeah.
And the way that they're being treated as football fans, like when I know a lot of West Ham fans. When I've gone to England tournaments, they're very well represented there. I get on with them really well. The fact that their club has just been stolen from them, from their grasp, from their hearts, it's outrageous.
It is absolutely outrageous. Nias is charged with simulation post the event. Under the deception of a match official rule.
Do you know what? If I'd known this was coming next, I was so excited for this. I had a lovely little segue for what was next. I was going to give it Omar's coming, because we're about to talk about him, aren't we?
The wire.
Omar's coming.
What was that?
What we're going to talk about? He used to do
the whistle.
Yeah, he used to whistle.
Carrying a Sean off.
But Everton.
If you don't know what we're talking about, go and watch The Wire. It's amazing.
Everton need to have a banner made, don't they? For just with Omar's coming.
That's good.
Yeah.
But he's going to be going for 3 games. He's going to likely to receive a free match game for diving in the box, conning the ref, so that West Ham. That's
a chair, by the way.
So that West Ham, what's about Everton, get the advantage. What do you think of this rule? The kind of so if a ref misses a dive, so there's a board who look at it in the Premier League, look back at it and think, that he needs to be banned.
I think it's a good idea in principle, but I think it could open a can of worms. I think a lot of the time, there's simulation and people are trying to con the ref.
Yep.
But I think sometimes the situation isn't quite what it seems. Sometimes a player goes down when it isn't a foul, but it isn't a dive either.
Yeah.
And
well, in that instance, they should be able to look at the replay.
But you can't always tell. I think proving intent is almost impossible. You can't prove intent. If the person who, if Nias comes out here and says he didn't dive, you can't say he did. You can't categorically state. You can't sort of prove a negative. I mean, I didn't do that. Well, I think you did, but I can't know that you did.
Yeah, but it looks. If someone dives and it hasn't been touched, it doesn't matter what they say.
I mean, there are famous examples that mean that you can. I remember do you remember when Rivaldo went down holding his face? Rivaldo went down holding his face when the ball was kicked towards him. It was clear what he was doing, but the cases, the fact that I can remember cases like that mean that a lot of these are far, it's a far more grey area, and I think that potentially this board are going to make, it's another board, it's another layer of bureaucracy in the football league, and I don't know. I hope it works. I hope it's a deterrent, and I hope that we cleans up the game a bit. But I'm sceptical that it will have the result that it intends to.
So, if we were in a game against Arsenal and we won a penalty, someone dived and we got a penalty and scored it, I would love that. I mean, that makes that feel better. So we even better winning by cheating.
Yes. Yeah. Completely. I mean, I would. But then I just don't. My issue with I have no issue with that. My issue with this thing is I just think it's very hard to prove something. So if you had a conversation with Nias now, if we were privileged enough to have him on this podcast, he'd sit there and he'd say, this is egregious, I've done nothing wrong, I went down with momentum and now I've got a 3-game ban.
Yeah.
Nobody can listen to him speaking clearly, eloquently, articulately saying I didn't cheat. You can't say you did. But you can't really say you did.
Well, there's no way of 100% proving it, but if someone theoretically throws themselves what's the word? Theatrically throws himself on the floor. Their arms go up. They haven't been touched. They leave their legs behind them. That's a dive.
But it can also be a foul. So a lot of the time, Arjen Robben, when Arjen Robben was in his pomp at Chelsea, this was happening to him 15 times a game. Robben would go down dramatically. Really, all the histrionics would come out. It would be, he'd scream as he goes, and he would exaggerate the move, but it wouldn't mean it wasn't a foul.
Yeah, but in this instance, no one touched him. You could see it, and there was zero contact, and he just went down between 2 defenders.
In this instance, fine.
Okay.
I'm sceptical though.
All right, fair enough. Staying with Everton, Louis van Gaal could become the next Everton manager. Odds have been slashed from 40-1 to 4-1.
Good appointment for Everton.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
I think it's a good appointment for Everton. I think Van Gaal's. I think people look at the Van Gaal era at Manchester United, and they see it as being a terrible period, which for Manchester United it probably was. You know, they didn't play the football that they hoped that he would, you know, the United way and things like that. But let's remember, they won a cup, didn't they? They beat Pardew's Palace in a final, didn't they? So they won a trophy, which is something Everton haven't achieved since 1995. Paul Rideout's header in the cup. Is that correct, Everton fans? I think 1995 was their last trophy. I can remember Chelsea lost the final in 94 to United, and then I think Everton beat United in the final the following year.
The yellow strip with 1-1.
I remember it hit the bar. They hit it 1-1. They hit the bar and it bounced down, and Paul Rideout got up above Bruce and headed it in. I don't know if they've won a trophy since then. I know Chelsea played him in a final in 2009. We won.
Yeah.
But either way, Everton have struggled to win trophies. Van Gaal is a manager that has won a lot of trophies. Everton are currently in a situation where, let's speak frankly here, Everton are in a relegation dogfight. Louis Van Gaal will not be relegated.
No. I mean,
David Unsworth could potentially be relegated.
He just perhaps doesn't have the experience to guide them out of this situation. Or maybe not the authority. I know, I'm speculating massively, I have no idea. Adam Rosenbaum just said you're a fucking monstrosity, Rory. Absolutely ghastly.
Oh, so he's all right.
Yeah,
it's nice to know that he's okay. So he just had a day off for the fun of it.
Yeah, he just had he feels well enough to dig.
Yeah, you're well enough to come on here and slander and give abuse, but you're not well enough to get on a tube and come to work.
Yeah, I mean,
what can we say about that?
I think his P45 is going to be in the post.
We'll hand deliver it.
Yeah, and then punch him in the face.
I think he's probably harder than me.
He's not. He's soft as shit.
Do you reckon?
Yeah. I'll smash him all over the place, no problem.
Spread him like marmalade.
Spread him like marmalade all over the pavement. Dibala says that this will be his last season at Juve, alerting Manchester City, Manchester United. Dibala?
Oh right, sorry.
Sorry, just
I thought you were going to do a question from somebody.
This is a question for you.
Oh right.
You know who I'm talking about, don't you?
Yes, Paulo Dybala.
What I consider...
You just say his name differently.
Yeah,
for everybody else.
Yeah, Dybala.
Cool.
Dibala,
that's it. Yeah.
He has, in my opinion, one of the most exciting prospects in world football. He's going to spend his last season at Juve, which is actually quite a big statement, given the fact that Juve have been in 2 Champions League finals in 3 years. You know, this is a big team, but he wants to move on, and I think he's probably good enough for Tottenham.
Do you think he might get the side?
He might do, ahead of Son or something.
I imagine that. I think the fact that he's come out speaking like this means that he must have an idea of what's going to happen.
It's got to be.
He's not doing this blind.
It's got to be. I think Barcelona, but I think he's also Man United are heavily interested. But he's talked about how much he loves playing football with Messi and for Argentina.
Well, this is it. I think for anyone who, for anyone from that neck of the woods, from anybody from South America or Iberia in general, has the opportunity of playing for Barcelona or Real Madrid especially, in my eyes at least, I just don't think they can turn that down. So somebody, what's going on?
Sorry, mate.
Is Adam cussing me again?
Adam said, "You little bastards, don't ever question my integrity again."
Yeah, just where's he sending this from? Just in his bedroom in his pants?
Yeah, he's
doesn't care.
Slowly masturbating, watching us.
But no, somebody like Dybala becomes available. Every single club, every
Chelsea
single club
had the clout to get him.
I'd love to sign him, and I'd like to think that there's some potential there. You know, we have a connection to Juve with Antonio Conte, but look, he's going to be one of the most sought after properties in world football. I'd love him to come to Chelsea, but I feel like it could be Real Madrid, Barcelona.
I mean, Pochettino's Argentine.
Yeah, I'm unsure about that.
There's the link, lads.
There's the link.
There is the link.
You've got a history of Argentinian players as well.
Yeah.
You can follow in the footsteps of the great Eric Lamela, Richard.
Ozzy Ardiles.
What was the other fella's name? There was who am I thinking of? No, getting it wrong.
Right.
Forget it.
Brilliant. Yes. So, Adam, we just fuck off out of comments.
Is he the only one in there?
No, he's giving a shit. Oh, you know what? A big shout out to poor old Duncan Watmore.
I know. I saw.
Double cruciate ligament injury, 2 on the same knee. Looks like it's going to be over for him before it's even begun. An absolutely superb little prospect as well. I think he would have gone on to have a good little Premier League career.
Yeah, mate, it's such a shame. I feel so sorry. I feel so sorry for players like this.
Yeah, if you haven't seen him, he's kind of short, but very quick, good at carrying the ball.
He's got a footballer's name as well.
Yeah,
Duncan Watmore is such a footballer.
Old school.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just, I just want to give him a shout out really, because it's just a massive shame. It's like and there's a massive issue with footballers and mental health when they suffer sustained injury and for such a young.
There has to be a role for him at Sunderland. There has to be a role. Like Chelsea had it with a wonderful player at one point. We had real high hopes for a right back called Sam Hutchinson. It went a similar way for him. Sadly, he had to retire. But at least as far as I know, I'm sure Craig will probably know for a fact, but as far as I know, he's still involved at Chelsea. He still works. He's still involved in the youth setup there. And I just think as sad as it is for these players, it's a wonderful gift to the club to have somebody come through who knows what it means to actually make it. He did it. He was unlucky, but he did the impossible, which is go through a youth system and play in the Premier League. So keep him around the club. Sam Hutchinson is still about?
Still playing Championship, I think.
Brilliant. When that happens, just don't mention it. Just agree. Yeah.
Sam, Terry Dixon, former Spurs starlet. He was compared to. He's supposed to be like the Irish Wayne Rooney. He was doing absolute bits in our youth setup. Suffered 2 really bad knee injuries and just dropped out. We sold him to West Ham and he failed to go there, and he failed to make it through, and his just injuries were so bad. But Spurs just sort of let him go. So,
and do you know what he's doing now?
Probably a plumber or something. I don't know.
Mate.
Literally nothing in football.
It's terrible.
But it must be such a strain mentally on these players who have essentially been told that they are brilliant and that are doing good stuff, and then.
Yeah, it's a heartbreaker. Is it? I mean, I can't even get into the mentality of it. It's awful.
Adam Rosenbaum said Duncan Watmore also has a first in economics at Newcastle University.
Very impressive.
Yeah.
Did Adam just know that, or has he now gone on to googling Duncan Watmore?
Yeah.
He's meant to be off ill. This is ridiculous from him.
A couple of questions. Let us know in the comments. Ask a couple of questions in the comments. We'll read them out. Answer them the best of your ability. If it's anything like, please stop taking us to take our clothes off. This isn't,
Who's doing that?
We're lots of them. They're saying take your clothes off, take your pants off. Adam started it, and it's juvenile and pathetic.
Adam, you're better than this.
Yeah, it's not just Adam. They're all doing it now. Just can't take your clothes off. Not happening. I need to get to the gym. We've got some questions on Twitter before we break. Send in your questions as well. Let us know, Craig, if there are any decent questions in there that are not about us taking our clothes off. All right. Jack Brain, who is Rory's main fashion inspiration?
Jack who?
Jack Brain, he used to do work experience here.
Oh, right. Main fashion... What was it?
Main fashion inspiration, who inspires you?
Oh,
I know.
Do you?
Yeah.
I'll go for it.
Has anyone seen The Business? Programme.
The kid Frankie in The Business.
Yeah.
Danny Dyer.
Danny Dyer in The Business. In the summer, Rory's shorts were so short, you could see everything.
Well, they're called shorts, Flev.
The whole package.
A short is surely...
And he is packing as well. It's ridiculous.
A short, that's a lie.
Massive.
But a short should be short. And
yeah,
I do. I think that's actually not a bad shout.
Yeah.
But no, nobody else springs to mind, but that's quite a good shout.
Newcastle Fans TV asks, how far can Newcastle really go if money's chucked at the club?
I think we've seen it all so many times with Newcastle.
Yeah.
It's looking like this Amanda Staveley deal's going to go through, and it's a wonderful opportunity for them. I think they've got a really good manager in charge. It's not a manager I like, but it's a manager who I appreciate. He's brilliant at his job.
Yeah, very good.
They've got the right man in charge. With the right investment, the club are ready to be big challenging, stadium. Aren't they? Yeah, the club. It's a one club. It's a one club, one city club. They've got exactly all the infrastructure ready to be a massive.
There's all this talk about Spurs' new stadium, 61,000, and how important it is to build a big stadium. Now, our last stadium isn't big enough. Newcastle have had a massive stadium. For age, it's 51, 52?
Yeah.
So, it doesn't guarantee success. And then, But it helps. And with the right attitude at the club. And I think there'll be such a positive experience for Newcastle now. Because they've got rid of Ashley, potentially. They've got rid of him, and they can focus on the future and move into a new realm of positivity where everyone's pulling in the same direction. I can't tell you how important, how good it feels to be in a club where everyone feels that things are going right.
Yeah, and also I think that the people that are coming in should really come in and throw the cash around, because if they're going to acquire that club for £300 million, it's a bargain. It's a real bargain. Like Newcastle are worth. Newcastle, think of the assets there. Think of everything that they've got going for them. Newcastle potential. Newcastle are worth a fortune, like way more than I know that is a fortune, but Newcastle are worth more than that.
Yeah.
So hopefully, if they're getting a deal on the club, they could invest in players.
Any questions?
Roy's acting career.
Is that Adam?
No. Well, what do you want to know
What
about
should
Roy?
Daniel Sturridge do in January?
He should get out. I know.
I don't think it's his choice. I think they'll have him out.
Well, Klopp said he's not going.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he wants out. Apparently, Paddy Stakelum says, "Why is Flav always coked up? Not coked up. Just I've had a runny nose for about.
I've had a runny nose since '98.
80 years. Yeah. I don't know. I've always had a problem with my sinuses. I apologise. I promise you, I'm not coked up.
Now,
Not right now. Does Flav? There was a question from some gooner here. Does Flav think there's a power shift in North London? I think he means from Arsenal to Tottenham. I don't know. Look, all I'm saying, I never said there was a power shift. I just think there's a parity now between Arsenal and Tottenham. A lot of Arsenal fans seem really concerned about this, the North London being red and all that kind of stuff.
there isn't. There isn't.
It's the same. There's nothing much has changed.
Nothing's changed. Arsenal. I mean, all this is red, is white, or whatever is all a bit of nonsense.
It's just bad. It's just like stick, isn't it?
But I mean, Arsenal are undoubtedly the biggest club in London, so nobody would contest that.
What's he talking about?
Would you contest?
What's he? I'm not talking to you. What's he talking about? Craig.
That's not even being controversial. That's the way it is, isn't it?
Whatever, mate. Yeah, probably. In terms of size, in terms of the amount of people around the world that support Arsenal because they've been good for so many years.
Trophies.
Yeah, trophies. Lots of trophies.
Lots of trophies.
Yeah, sadly. No, fair enough. Like I said, it's not. I don't think Spurs. Do you know what? The problem with this, and the reason why Arsenal fans have reacted with such glee, and so they should, because they've just beaten one of their main rivals, is probably because there are a lot of Spurs fans out there that have been giving it a lot.
Yeah.
The issue I have is I'm not really one of those blokes.
So you should though. Like,
yeah,
football is about that. Football is about.
But it ain't for me. I don't get to make a load deal going up to a gooner and.
Oh no, I don't mean that's a different thing. But what I mean is, a big part of football for me is thinking that Chelsea are the best club in the world, and I'll tell everybody who listens that's the fact. I'm never gonna. We're not pundits. As a Tottenham fan, of course you're going to say Tottenham are better than Arsenal. It's not, and somebody comes back at you afterwards. It's not you looking an idiot. It's just you backing your club.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't really give a shit how Arsenal fans feel about Spurs. It's like the worst conversation you can have with someone is whether one of your players is world class. I hate that conversation.
Yeah.
I don't care. I like Postino. Yeah, he hasn't won anything, but he makes me feel so happy. And that's all that matters to me. He makes me feel happy.
This is the same. This is just at some point that sentiment is. We're going to have to reevaluate that. We're going to have to reevaluate that because you've been saying it for a long time now, and although it carries some weight,
what's it got to do with you? I feel happy.
Because I don't think he can make you feel happy.
He makes me feel really happy.
Well, he can't have made you feel happy on Saturday.
No, but that's one game.
No, but
you
he can't
feel happy when we beat you.
It's not one game though, because it happens pretty regularly now.
What are you talking about? Arsenal haven't beaten us in 6 games.
No, Arsenal, but Chelsea have beaten you this season already.
I'm not going to let you and your crafty little ways.
At some point, he can't just be this man that you. At some point, you're going to have to draw a line, and I'm going to put one. 3rd of February. 3rd of February.
Yeah.
I want answers.
All right, fine.
Fine. 3rd of February, I'll be back.
3rd. Yeah. Look, it's nothing to do with anybody. It's like you're going out with a bird, right? And she makes you happy, and everyone's like, well, you're better looking than that bird. I don't care. This hasn't been said about my girlfriend.
Yeah, I know. This is a bit more layered than I thought it was going to be.
If anything, I'm punching, right? But
everybody tells me, I'm just too good for her. But
but the thing is, they don't know. They don't know the relationship. They don't know the feeling conjured, and it doesn't matter if not my bird, but a certain bird wasn't a 10 out of 10. It doesn't matter if she makes you happy, and other people's opinions outside of that relationship are irrelevant. Ergo, your opinion on Tottenham is completely irrelevant.
I like that you've just used ergo. Didn't see that coming. Yeah.
Okay, that's it for the Fighting God podcast.
For what?
Sorry.
You do this every time.
I do it all the time. I'm doing 3 podcasts a week on the Fighting God. What do you want? Yeah, that's it for the Long Ball Street podcast. Thank you so much once again, Rory, for stepping in.
Pleasure.
It's good.
It's good.
Yeah, see you at the Far Post.
See you at the Far Post.
Good, finally.